guest tonight is an Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor. You know from his work on Broadway and Cabaret and shows such as Schmigadoon and The Good Wife. He is both a producer and the host of The Traitors. New episodes stream Thursdays on Peacock. Let's take a look.
And so we meet again, my faithful and not so faithful friends. Today you raised $20,000 for the prize fund, which is now a statuesque $55,000 and growing by the day. But the traitors amongst us, their confidence is high because they have yet to taste defeat at the round table. Here is where all that can change. Players, the floor is yours.
Please welcome back to the show, Alan Cumming, everybody.
Hello, Seth.
You know, the last time we were here, we talked about how you were initially hesitant about doing the show, and yet every clip, it's like the role you were born to play.
It's such fun.
Yeah.
I know, I was just sort of I didn't really understand why they'd want me. I don't, because it wasn't really, but I now understand, you know, I'm also playing a character. I don't actually talk like that normally.
Yeah. So the first season, it was 10 reality stars and 10 regular people.
Yes.
And then second season, you were just like, bye, regulars.
Ditch the real people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just found that real people, for all their qualities, are less fun.
They're just not funny.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think in a way it's partly that the show's sort of so heightened. You know, it's got such a theatrical, as you saw, quality to it. And it's in a castle, and I'm all wearing all these ridiculous things. And so in a funny way, I think that was why the people, you know, people who are, so mostly people from those reality shows, as well as some sort of random celebrities and swimmers and royals and things. And so in a way, those people know, they sort of come with their shtick already.
Yes.
So it's sort of, they're already heightened and in that thing. So I think it works better, actually. But it is a bit shame for real people.
It is, you know, but something's gonna break their way one of these days. But it is true. Like, this is everybody's. It's kind of fun that at minimum it's everybody's second reality show, and I think that's what lends itself to the arch quality of it.
Yes, and some of them are on like all these. There's all these shows I'd never even heard of, and also there's ones where they go on, like The Traitors. They've been on something else, and then they go. There's all these different shows. There's a whole career of just being on shows that's because you've been on a reality show. I think eventually everyone in the world will be on a reality show.
Yeah.
And then we can all just stop.
I think some people are gonna find out they have been. They'll be like, you know, you've actually been on a show for
like
5
the
years.
Truman Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
You, one of the other reasons you were hesitant, which we've talked about before, is you also were not a giant fan of reality shows. So oftentimes, almost every contestant you have to sort of study up on.
Yes, and because, I mean, it's sort of like crazy because there's so much television in the world, in America especially, and like a lot of the shows, some of the shows I'd never even heard of. I said, what? The Challenge? And they said, oh yes, it's been on for 16 years. I was like, what? And so what I do is in the castle, in my room, I get all the photos of everybody on the walls like that so that I can study them. And I have a sort of research sheets, and it's things like, Gabby, she was on The Bachelorette, now she's a lesbian. You know, like that. Like, I got all these sort of little things like that. And on the first season, I had all their pictures up. And then I went down, I was really, nervous. And I went down to do the first sort of, players, welcome to my castle. And I was like, what the hell? Who are these people? Because I realized that quite a few of them had augmentations to their faces done before they came on the show. I said to the producers, could you get me the most up-to-date photos of their faces? Because there was literally two of them. I thought, they're not in the pictures.
Yeah. You're like, ma'am, you have to go.
Yes, imposter. Security.
Congratulations, by the way. You've won 2 Emmys.
I know, isn't that nuts?
And no small thing. There was a bit of a dynasty for RuPaul Drag Race, and you were the one that sort of knocked RuPaul off the throne.
I topped RuPaul.
Yes, and did you?
Many have tried, but but it was, or as people say, I toppled Ru, like Ru's a big sequoia tree or something. But yes, it was sort of, it's bittersweet, because I think that show's done so much good in terms of trans and drag awareness and everything like that. So which we need all the more right now, of course. So but in a way, I sort of think we're, it's not quite as queer, but it's a pretty queer show.
Yeah.
And I saw Rue sort of backstage in a thing, and it was kind of like a bit of a Western. I was like, like that. And I went up to him and I just went, I am so sorry. That's what I said. And he went, congratulations.
Perfect.
I know.
Perfect.
Made it all worthwhile.
Not a contestant on the show, but one of the stars of the show. Your dog. The fans demanded more. Lala?
Lala.
And
there's all these articles about stealing the style spotlight of the...
But, like, there's a risk when you have a dog on set. Did you sort of know that Lala would rise to the occasion?
She's the most well-behaved dog. I mean,
Yeah.
she just sits with me and she doesn't... And what's hilarious is that, you know, she's in it more this time because she was in the second season and then the public said, why not more Lala?
Yeah.
So they got it. We gave the public what the public wanted.
Is Lala a well-trained dog because you were good at training dogs, or did she come that way?
She kind of came that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I have trained... No, I was very... I mean, I'm quite good at... You know, I'm quite disciplined. But she was great. She was a street dog from Costa Rica.
Wow.
And then someone brought her to New York and I adopted her. So it's fascinating because she doesn't... She's just a really great dog. And she doesn't play because she never had toys when she was a little... So she's just this sort of couthy... That's a real Scottish word. It means she's like couthy like that. But, you know, I once...
Wait, what does it mean?
Couthy. It means like she's cuddly and she's
Okay,
sort
great.
of, you know, and just...
But, like, when you say Scottish like this, it's like she like bar fights.
Yeah.
She's like Coothy. You know, like those guys in Scotland who are like, "Arr."
No, she's not that.
Okay.
No, she'd run. But she, my last dog, Honey, I did have to get her, because she was nuts when I first got her. I mean, really nuts. And I had to get a trainer to come. So I remember some of the things I remember from that trainer with Lala. But there was one time when the trainer said that when she freaks out, you know, she would get a bit sort of agitated, and I had to lie on top of her like this and hold her paws down like that. And she'd go, and then she would eventually, when you hear her, she'd go, and then you'd know that was it over and you could let her go. And I just had to do that, and so I had to overpower her. You know, you've got to give her these psychological messages.
By the way, that's also riding a motorcycle. And then after we're done, I put her on the back of my motorcycle.
That's right. So yeah, you have to give her these. And so one time, this is years ago, and I was like on the pier in Chelsea, and I was walking, and she went nuts. So I did the whole thing. And then, like, about a year later, I was on a date with this boy, and we're chatting, and he went, I think I actually saw you about a year ago lying on top of a dog on Pier 57. I was like, yeah, that was me.
That would have been such a fun one to be like, was that me?
Another time I got her from the vet, and she had a thing on her back and all stitches like Dr. Frankenstein. And I thought it was just going to be a little thing, and it was a lot. And I was standing there in the street holding her, and she was all drugged, and I was crying. And my assistant went to get the car, and people said, I think I saw you on 20th Street crying with a dog in your arms. I was like, yes, that was also me. Yes.
Thank you for being here today, because I know you've had a very busy weekend, and you're still recovering because you had a birthday.
It's a miracle
Happy
I'm
birthday.
alive, Seth.
Happy birthday to you. And if it's all right with you, because you're a dear friend of the show, and you've been here after a few birthdays in the past, we want to do something special, you remember it, so we have a cake for you.
Aww.
So if everybody, as we bring out the cake, here it is. And the very exciting thing about this cake is there's no candles, so nobody has to sing. But this is it's a birthday cake, but I feel like there's something very special inside. We wanted to use the theme.
Is it a puppy?
There's a puppy.
There's
somebody. I want somebody to be like, did I see you once eat a puppy out of a cake? Ready? It's going to be exciting, I think. It's
tartan.
It's tartan. Look at that.
How did you do that?
Very Scottish. You know how I did it? I did it myself. That's
did you
important.
really?
Everything you ever have on the show, I did
have
myself.
to. Is this vegan cake?
It is.
Oh, great.
We knew you were vegan, so
Thank
we made
you
you
so
a vegan
much.
cake.
Oh, that's so nice.
That was very special. And wait, no, it's not vegan. I'm kidding. And coming, everybody! Happy birthday, my friend! New episodes of The Traitors stream Thursdays on Peacock. Stick around, we'll be right back with Paul Skeens.